What's up, man?
How you doing? How you doing?
I was about to say that's not him right there.
That was
Good to
my
see you, man. How you doing?
Likewise. I'm blessed, man. I'm happy. How are you?
Great. Listen, I can't even complain. All is well. Just grateful to be here, to be alive. You know,
Right. And
we
I
just
appreciate you, man. You know I'm a businessman, so I was still working.
no, definitely. I get it. I get it. And one of the reasons why I really wanted to have you on the show is I feel like you're definitely one of those people that you talk the talk, but you also walk the walk. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
everything that you're posting about, as we say, it's not just for the gram. You do this in real life. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's why I was like, when he said he's got a delivery, I'm like, yo, he talks about that on his Instagram. So everything that he talks about, he's actually living it out. So that's why I really wanted to have you on the show. But I was just saying to people before you came on, you're a former Army Ranger, HU graduate, father of three, and you paid off over $200K in debt in 4 years. And we're really going to talk about that, how you were able to accomplish that. But first and foremost, one of the things that you're very, very passionate about is financial education, especially in the Black community. And I wanted
Correct.
to ask you tonight, how did you get into that mindset? What got you into that place where you, first of all, got interested in it and then decided to teach other people about it?
I think it started young. For those that don't know, I was a foster kid, but I ended
Mm,
up being adopted from a black man and a black woman, and the black man was a history teacher. And
mm,
so I've always studied Black history and to know like what was the next mission after with Martin Luther King after we fought for being equal. He was going to
right,
do the poor man's campaign, right?
right,
Economic empowerment. So from a child, I'm like, okay, we have seen our elders and our ancestors continue to push that. Once
right.
I become an adult, that's gonna be the same mission that I'm on. So it's just been inside me since I was a
Mm,
young person, and I truly try to be. I'm old school, right? I'm born in '85. I
right,
know that a lot of people put on for a gram, and it's all cap. But can I be
right,
who I say I am in real life? Am I perfect? No. But every day I'm striving to be better, and I know at the point that we're in right now, if we don't focus on our finances, our people are not going to see the promised land, right?
You were
Right.
speaking, and I want you to continue to speak on. I know that financial education is important, like just across the board, but I want you to speak to why it's very important for Black people to be financially educated.
Yeah, I don't know if I was cut off, but I was saying that they're saying that by 2053, the
Right.
black net worth is going to be $0.
Mm,
So how do we stop that, right? Why is it important? Because we gotta eat, right? It's like
right.
people get mad about Floyd Mayweather, but he said it. I have to eat food. It costs money. Like he has
Yeah.
to give a legacy to his children. If
Right.
it's just as simple as that, like you have to feed yourself. And there comes a point where, okay, you get tired of paying rent, you're tired of your neighbors living on top of people. You probably should work on your finances so you can become a homeowner. I'm just
Right.
a practical person. It's
Yeah.
like it's practically like smart for us to
Right.
do right by our finances because we want better for ourselves, for our children, for our significant other, for our mom, our sisters, brothers, whoever. Like I feel like if we all did it as each individual black family, and then as a collective, we'll see
Right.
over the across the board that we're good because we just decided, hey, for my children, they're gonna have a better life than I did growing up. And if we
Yeah.
continue to do that by 2053, we won't have a $0 net worth. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll be 200,000 or a
Right.
million, like whatever your goal is.
Yeah. Now that's amazing. But when it comes to investing, I feel like I'm not sure if it's because people aren't very aware of it. But in your experience, what do you see that's keeping a lot of Black people from being involved? Now, speaking specifically to investing in things like stocks and things of that nature, like what do you think is keeping a lot of Black people from going that route?
It's two things. You do what you see others in your community do, and we
Right.
have too much debt. Like
Okay.
I tell people, the quickest way to get rich is to eliminate your debt. And the quickest way for us to build wealth is for us to watch other black investors in our community show us the way. Now, obviously, everybody on Cash App, right? So then they started buying a few stocks, are Bitcoin. Everybody's on Robinhood. They started buying. But can we take it to the furthest level where we have a full brokerage?
Right.
And just that same amount of money that we go, if it's just $5 that you go to spend at the liquor store or the corner store to buy a lotto ticket, to get you that pack of smokes, whatever it takes, just sacrifice one of those and start investing. And you'll see over time that it'll start growing, because we have to be honest, we're going to grow old one day. We're not going to be this young in the club having fun all the time. One day we're going to be 40, 50, 60. So I think it's those two things. How do we eliminate the debt? We a lot of people in our community, when they're short on money, they go into the payday lender. Or they don't even have a bank account, so they go to the check cashing place. We're making all these other communities richer, and we're not doing right by ourselves. So, like, there has to be a mental shift.
Yeah.
We got to change. That's why I said release the debts. You got to change in your mind, like, okay, I'm done with this. I see that it's not working going that way. Let me do the opposite. Like, it's 2021, man. We got Google. We have this phone, we got YouTube. There's literally no excuse. There's people like you that are doing, like, have a heart for the culture, interviewing people that's passionate, passing information. We just got to keep staying with one another.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this, because a lot of people say, do you wait till you have a lot of money to start investing, or can you start with what you do have? Because on one hand, you're saying, you know, I so oppose that you were saying about what Elon was saying about, you know, wait till like you get your paper up to, like, if you bring at least 5K in a month to start investing. Now, so my question to you, should I wait till I'm making at least 5K a month to start investing, or can I start investing with what I do have? What do you advise in that case?
I think that you should start investing with what you do have. And that's where the scary word that people got to start doing with their family, budget. It should be imperative that we add investing to our budget. Like, on your budget, I'm a Christian, so I tithe. But I also make sure that I save. I make sure that I invest, because I know that there's a future self of me. I'm going to get older. So if you just got $5, do $5 a month. Like, if you got $100, do $100 a month. It adds up over time. Like, we see, since 1896, the stock market has gone up. It's been through pandemics, world wars. The homes went down for a while, but it still went up over time. So, like, we got to be a part of that game. Every other culture is a part of the game, so we need to be a part of it too. So start where you at. Like, eliminate those excuses. If you just got $5, you're able to buy stocks right now. Like, we live in a great time. They created fractional investing. So even if you didn't have the $3,000 to buy Apple stock, you could buy $5 worth of Apple stock today. If you, as long as you have a full brokerage that allows you to do it, I recommend Fidelity, because it allows you to fractionally invest.
What's your issue with Robinhood? Because I saw something that you posted about, you don't really recommend it. What's your issue with it?
My issue with Robinhood is two things. One, we have to remember, like, they're in the business of making money. Like, they're not in the, like, it's funny the name Robin Hood, and they truly are robbing the hood. They're selling our information, seeing how people are investing to institutional investors. There's no way these stocks can go the way that they go if there's not large investments. So these hedge funds are investing, then they see the regular average Joe gets into the investment, it goes up, and then boom, they drop this. They make all the money, and then so many of us are losing. Also, with it, Robinhood, as we have seen time and time again, when regular people start making money, what do? They hawk the investment. I don't want to be a part of any organization that is going to hawk my economic freedom, when there's other full brokers that never do that. So, like, those are the two reasons. Like, you can still invest on the other ones. I guess another reason would be, if you notice, it's a gamification. Like, as you see that they made it look that certain way to make it a game for you, to make it seem like it's just so easy. It's so easy. Like, I just advise everyone to use a different brokerage, because it's like being in a bad relationship. If they keep hurting you, why would you keep being in that relationship? And we see time and time again, once you start making money, they hawk the investment. Like, I wouldn't want to have a business relationship with that kind of person.
Right, absolutely. Now, before we talk about your book, give us maybe top three that you recommend that we use as far as investment goes. You talked about Fidelity. Is there another one that you would recommend?
Right. Okay. So obviously I'm a big long-term investor, so
Right.
I say Vanguard. The
Okay.
reason a lot of people, this will be for the demographic that have the $3,000 to initially start investing.
Right.
So I would say Vanguard because you're able to buy the total stock market index fund and you will own a piece of every public traded company in the United States. Like
Right.
it's an easy win. I
Right.
say Fidelity because it's a full brokerage. It's a private family company that's not going anywhere. But
Right.
not only can you invest in stocks and bonds, but you can have an IRA. Not only can you have an IRA, but you can have custodial accounts for your children, able to invest for them. You can have a 529 plan to invest for their college savings. So,
Right.
and they have 24/7. They have free learning. So that's why I suggested you're not able to do these things on Robinhood. And
Right.
the other one that I suggest is Titan. The reason I suggest that is because, as we know, there are a lot of wealthy people invest in hedge funds. But back in the day, you had to be an accredited investor with like $1 million net worth to be able to invest in those funds.
Yeah.
Titan made it where the average Joe can invest. So those are my three suggestions. Like, this is a perfect time if you want to just have a safety net, Vanguard, because all you got to do is invest in that one total stock market index fund. If you want a full brokerage where you're able to invest, but also your children, Fidelity. Another one I'll say is E-Trade. My son's 15. He trades through E-Trade. They have a custodial account too. And then I say Titan if you want to be a part of the hedge fund game.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Now, you have this book, and I want you to talk to us about what do you hope for people to get out of it, and why should they buy it? What when you sat down and you put these things together in this book, you call it Releasing the Debt. What were you hoping that people would take away from it?
I'm like everyone else. We know who's known for teaching financial literacy. At first, it was Dave Ramsey, right? Teaching
Right.
people how to eliminate debt. But I
Right.
felt there were some things, there was a disconnect. He talks to, blue collar, Caucasian America. There was
Right.
no one talking to Black America.
Right.
And so I wanted to add those little pieces. Also, I read J.L. Collins' book, Simple Path to Wealth. He wrote for his daughter, a simple way for her to invest. So
Right.
I wanted to share that same knowledge. There's this huge movement called the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. There are average Americans that have built their stock portfolios to 1.25 million and they're living off of it 4% a year. So I wanted to share that information. I'm a realist, right? I know that the average American's reading is at a 7th grade level.
Yeah.
So I know that people don't like to read much. So I wrote a book that's 50 pages. I also know that people like guidelines. So it's 10 steps. I also know that there's more issues in our community other than just eliminating debt. So I know people like to gamble, right? They play roulette. So I gave step 000 and Cub step 000 and Cub step 0. I said that you have to get a burial policy and a life insurance plan. That was before I talked about anything else. Like, there's too many people in our community that we go to the funerals and we're having to do GoFundMes, raise money. We all know that we're mortal. I hope that we all live a long time and die from natural causes. But I had to put that step 000 in there because once we pass on, we want something to be left for our children, right? Yeah. We look at the Rockefeller family, one of the wealthiest families in the world. What did they do? They created a family trust, and they got a life insurance policy on each child in their family, put that into the trust. And what do they do from that? They're able to get business loans from it and have to pay it back or pay for education. And then if a family member doesn't do right, they kick you out the trust. And that's how they maintain their wealth.
Right.
A lot of us aren't going to work a job that's going to be paying you high 6 figures. Yeah. But you can get a 6-figure life insurance policy and leave that to each of your children and be paying something that's very affordable. Now, you know, historically in our community, a lot of the insurance guys were selling these term life insurance, right?
Right.
They're paying on a policy. Then 20 years, they still alive. That policy ended. They thought that they still had a policy. They pass on. They have nothing to pass on to their children.
Yeah.
So in my book, I recommend a whole life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Because at least you know that when you pass on, that policy is still there for your child.
Yeah.
And they have a new foundation on life.
Yeah.
Then I said to start a zero-based budget. The next step. The reason I'm doing that is because with this type of budget, you know where every single dollar that comes into your family, where it goes. So that's why I'm saying that. Like, I'm trying to give people practical steps that will change their family tree. Because at the end of the day, we all know what to do. Yeah. But a lot of times you need that coach, you need that person that
extra
pushes
push
you to do it. So I just wanted to give the resource. Then I'm also a realist in knowing, hey, some people don't have the extra $10 to buy my ebook. Some people don't have the $25 to buy the book on my website or the $35 to buy it on Amazon. Yeah. So I recorded myself and I put it on YouTube. It's a 52-minute book. You can listen to it for free and get the information and listen to it over and over. So like, I'm making sure I'm eliminating.
So there's no excuse.
Right. Because my life mission, I want to end Black poverty and normalize Black wealth.
That's good.
I don't want to be a talker. I want to be a doer.
Guys, I don't know what else to tell you. You gotta check this man out. He definitely has a heart for the people. And like I said, when I was starting off, one of the reasons I want to have him on the show because I feel like he's not just posting about stuff. He really does what he's saying. And that's hard to find these days. Someone who has a heart for the people and for helping us get to where we need to get to. So please, don't sleep on this man. Check the book out and follow him on all social media and stay locked in. Now, I'm going to ask you, you're probably not going to be able to give us everything today, but if you could just maybe summarize it in some way, shape, or form, how you went about paying off over $200K in 4 years. If there's any way you could just summarize it, just touching some key things that you did that helped you get, pay off that amount of debt.
All right. So we all know that I served in the United States Army.
Yeah.
They do give you a GI Bill, but when you attend a private university, they don't pay for it in full. They only pay for the highest state. So I went to Howard University. It was a private school. So I still had to take out loans because that was my dream. Like, I graduated at 31. I only wanted to graduate from Howard. Once I got out the Army, I drove from California all the way to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
By any means necessary, make me a student. And I was working and taking 15 credit hours every day, right? So I had that. Then we all know most of us finance cars. So I had that, and then I had credit card debt. So when I moved, after I graduated from Howard, I moved to Boston. I was over the Hertz. I was the district manager over Hertz rental car at Boston Logan. Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a house. I had a triple threeplex. The person that lived above me, he got into it with his children's mother. He burnt our house. So I lost my house to a fire, right? Not my fault. So I'm straight at the bottom. Right. Not my fault though, right? I'm trying to better my life. Right. So I'm like, how can I make 6 figures quickly? So what I did, I Googled a coding boot camp for software engineering. I was gonna move to San Francisco, wherever I could go to learn. I ended up finding one that taught you for free. Right. They only taught Hispanics and African Americans 14 weeks. So that was when, okay, I can get this job and I can be a software engineer. I learned the skill. So that's one thing I would push people. Learn the skill that you know can pay you income if you want to work a job. So that was that. I was willing to make that sacrifice. Then I also, in my car, I used DoorDash, I used Uber, I did Postmates. So because I've done, Uber, DoorDash, and Postmates, I tell people now to only do DoorDash. The reason being, Uber Eats, you're only getting small amounts of order, like $3. But it's got to be volume. You got to do a lot of quantity. At least with DoorDash, it's an algorithm. You can decline the $3, $4, $5 orders. You're trying to make $15 an hour. So I look at everything like a number game. How can I make money as quickly as possible? DoorDash was my best option, especially for people. I'm an introvert. I didn't want to have these conversations with people in my car, picking them up, Uber or Lyft. If it's just food in my car, then I can pick up the food and drop them off. So that's what I did. I just literally, after work, I'm door dashing. Like, I sacrificed my sleep, and I made sure that I did what I call the lion method. Little investment on to the next. So I would continue to keep my minimum payment, but whatever was the smallest thing that I owed, I paid as much as I can extra to that. And once that was paid off, I rolled on to the next debt. And I just continued to do that until I was paid off. And the biggest thing, something I learned from my mother, when you can't pay something on time, call these creditors. We got to have this conversation with them and say, hey, this is all that I can afford.
Yeah.
And another thing, I'm a researcher. Once something goes into collection, you don't have to pay it off, right?
Yeah.
It's already, that debt has been sold. That main company wrote it off. So I started sending dispute letters to the people that I owe, to the credit bureaus, and saying, hey, I do not owe this because it's already paid off. That account has been closed. So that helped delete. And like I share with everyone now, if you email me, smoore@davestreet.com, I will send you a do-it-yourself credit repair kit for free. Like, it teaches you how you write the letter, how to change your personal information, how it takes about 5 rounds to actually write these people over and over, because some people are going to deny and say, no, you still owe this. You keep writing them until it's gone off the list. So I did that. So with those two things of writing the credit bureau and making sure I'm doing that extra second job, we got to come to the point where you are willing to sacrifice. Let go of your pride and humble yourself. You got to humble yourself. I was willing to humble myself. Then another thing I did, I started a business. I looked at, okay, I'm seeing what other communities are doing. There's people coming into our complex. They're cleaning. They're getting paid $120 to $200 for 2 hours of work. I can do the same thing. So I tell people to start a business. You can start a cleaning business, $200. Go on Amazon. You get you a backpack vacuum cleaner for $134. Then you buy microfiber tiles. It's going to be better than paper tiles. Microfiber tiles. And then you get eco-friendly, environmental-friendly cleaning supplies. Then you start posting. You tell people, everybody, go knock on every single door in your apartment complex and say, hey, I started a cleaning business. If you want, you can start at, I charge $25 an hour. That was, you clean it in an hour or 2 hours, just $50 you didn't have, right? And that will add up. You know, that's a skill set that every single person got. I don't know about y'all, but my parents made me clean growing up. So it's a skill set we all have. All of us
I think it's amazing.
Cars. You can go wash cars. Like, do something. You see what's needed in your apartment complex, in your neighborhood. So that's all I did. And the biggest thing, too, is being consistent. Like, I wasn't worried about what other people were thinking about me. I also motivated myself. I made a video when I was delivering on a bicycle, and I said, people are laughing at me right now, but in a year, 2 years from now, I'm going to be the person with the last laugh. Because I'm not going to lie and say that it was easy. It's hard. You're going to be battling against your mind. Why am I doing this? What did I do wrong? Why am I at this point in my life? So sometimes, like the gospel song says, you have to encourage yourself.
You got to encourage yourself.
I would make videos and encourage myself. And guess what? One day, 2 years from there, I saw, you know how that Facebook do the memories? I saw that video. And I was proud of myself.
That's dope. Listen, I love to hear that, because I think a lot of people, I was saying the other day how so many people just look at the glory, but they don't even know the story that's behind it and the work that goes into it. And I like how that you're very practical and you're not sugarcoating any of these things. Like, you're really giving it real as it is. Now, you know, I wanted you to speak very briefly, because like yourself, like me, you know, we're both HU graduates, and I want you to speak to how important that HBCU education is, because one of the things that I was having a conversation with a young lady, and she essentially tries to say to me that there really isn't any difference between a PWI and an HBCU, and I wanted you to speak on that and speak on how important that is, because another thing you see is people trying to make it seem as if the HBCU education is kind of subpar compared to a PWI, and I want you to talk about how important that is.
The reason we have to be realists about the history of America. The reason it's important, there will be a lot of black doctors you wouldn't know, a lot of black lawyers you wouldn't know, a lot of black engineers that you wouldn't know, a lot of black teachers that you wouldn't know. My mother, who adopted me, she went to a HBCU, Paul Quinn. She was the first black counselor at my high school in the early 90s. We're not talking about the 70s, 60s, 50s, I'm saying the 90s.
Early 90s,
first black high school counselor.
Yeah.
If she wouldn't have got that HBCU education, right, would that have ever happened for her to open the door for others? And then also, we have to be realistic in knowing that when you go out into the workforce, it's not many of you. It's not many of you. So when you want that 4-year experience is beautiful, that you're like, okay, I see what they push on TV, on social media, that we not that smart, that we don't have a good life. And then you realize, oh my God, there's suburban kids, there's international kids that have some good families. There's people that look like me that are very intelligent, that are going to be world changers. And like, we need that education. We need it. Like, push that to your children, right? Like my child, his first job is a lifeguard, right? There's a lot. So 64% of black children know how to swim. 5.8% of lifeguards are black. 5.8. So we can say, though, then you push to college, what amount of percentages of blacks? There's only 5% of blacks that are real estate agents. There's only 5% of blacks that are lawyers. Like, when we start really getting to the numbers, we have to be grateful for that HBCU education, because now it's two things. One, they're changing every industry that they're in, and two, those create black parents that create those black children that also bring about change. If I wouldn't have had that education at Howard, would I be so passionate about black people? Maybe not, because the experience is different at a PWI. No knock on PWI versus HBCU, but I'm always going to say we do matter. You know that we matter. And so you should continue to push that, support black colleges. Because when you look at the history, there wouldn't be you have the opportunity to go to that PWI. Remember Thurgood Marshall. Know your history. University of Maryland denied him a PWI. So he was afforded an opportunity at Howard University. He's the reason that there is that board, versus the Board of Education, that allows you to go to that PWI. So always remember, the person that pushed so that you can be in the school that you're in was denied that opportunity. So that's
I love that.
Important for me.
I love that. I love that. You just really hit the nail on the head. Before I let you go tonight, Father's Day is June 20th. It's coming up. You're a black father. If there's one thing that you could say to black fathers right now, what would you say?
Regardless if you're married, regardless if you're divorced, regardless if you're single but you got a children mother, be active. Children do 90% better when they have an active black father. Know all your children, they for a moment are gonna remember them presents. But for a lifetime, they're gonna remember your presence. So make sure that you're continuing to be present. Because there are things and experiences that you have that you can teach your children so that they can have a better life than you did. So that's what I encourage every black man that is a father, and I encourage every black man that one day will be a father. Be active against all odds. Be man enough to have a cordial relationship with your children's mother. Be man enough that if you're in a relationship and are married, to do right by that black woman, because your example is going to be the example that your black child lives out on both sides. Who does your daughter choose as a partner? How does your son act as a partner? So be active. It's so important. And don't forget the old ways. Teach them how to change the tire. Teach them how to change the oil. Teach them how to be respectful to all human beings. And also, lastly, teach them why they should be proud to be black. We are not a low-grade race. We are one of the highest race. We are important. There's so many things that our America would not have if it
Yeah.
wasn't for the black people. Never
Absolutely.
forget that. They wouldn't have the refrigerator.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have that cotton jean.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have that AC. When
Yeah.
you stop in the traffic, like, remember that a black man created that.
Amen. Amen. Listen, I love it. I love it. I can talk to you till tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Likewise.
But before you go, plug the book one more time. You know, where, and then also where they can buy it and where they can keep up with you on all social media.
All right. Hey, for everybody, you can always go to my YouTube, Savant Moore, and you can listen to my audiobook for free. If you want to support me directly, you can go to savantmore.com. The book is $24.99. If you would like the ebook, it's $9.99 at gum.co/Black Wealth. And it's also on Amazon for $34.99.
Yeah.
Savant Moore on all social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. If you have a question, just DM me. I look at it like this: we're all black family. I'm your big bro, I'm your cousin, your father figure, whatever you need me to be. I'm here for you. Whatever your dream is, I want to help make it happen. Remember, we need each other, and we all we got.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for that. And also, we're going to put all that information once we put this together and post again on social media so you guys can check out those links and everything. Listen, man, I'm so grateful for you stopping by, coming to the show tonight. Really appreciate you. Excited for what you have going and looking forward to great things happening to you, man. Really, thank you so much. And keep up that energy, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, bro.
All right. Guys, listen, I'm going to catch you guys next week, but keep it locked in, and we're going to be having more guests on the show. That's going to be educational to each and every one of you because we're really about empowering our people, really about spreading the knowledge and the information and helping us to become the best version of ourselves in everything that we do. Thank you once again for tuning in tonight. I'm going to see you guys next week and another exciting episode of Live with Lysious. Yeah, have a great night. All right. Bye.